Hi guys, and welcome back to the South Korean ladder, as I have once again found a very long replay, as you can see from the timer, and once again it is going to be with DEWALT playing here on the South Korean ladder 2025 July. We have spawning in the upper right in the purple, it is QWEQWEQWE. I don't know sadly who this South Korean player is, I just know he's from South Korea playing with his AKA here, quite low APM here for him. Perhaps just chilling a little bit. And his opponent here from Russia in the lower right. No, it's the lower left, sorry. In the yellow. It is DEWALT with his AK. I believe this is actually already the fourth or fifth game which I'm casting here from DEWALT. Sadly with no remastered graphics, given the fact that I have some internet issues right now. The main PC has no internet. And yeah, it would be around 1 month or 2 months, I believe, until it's going to be fixed. So yeah, let's have a look what exactly is going to happen into this long replay. We do have a 4 spawning location map once again. DEWALT opting to go for this pylon out. Very likely preparing his macro game once again. So he's very likely going to wall off here with a gateway, with a forge. And go for a fast expansion, or is he? Let's see exactly what his plans are. So yes, indeed, forge very close to this egg right here in order to close this gap, not allowing the Zerglings early on to move forward. And he's now scouting the lower right, or is it? Perhaps it's a 2 spawning location map, given the fact that they do scout into cross spawns, and the same can be said here for the overlord. So it looks like a 2 spawning location map, as the Zerg has also taken here this expansion and has a second overlord also. Overlord into expansion here for the Zerg. Both players playing very macro oriented, very safe. And I believe the spawning pool with the extractor is going to follow up very soon here for the Zerg. So yeah, more probes are getting produced. The forge should be finished here immediately by... It's actually already finished. And the probe is... Hold on, what exactly? DEWALT is actually going for a cannon rush here. Is he going to commit? That is the question. He only has 1 probe here. That is already very likely going to be taking some damage. Nice glitch here forward by the Zerg. A very smart move by him, as the drones have now moved forward and the probe is now in trouble. He tries of course to glitch more drones towards the entrance here. Very nice move by him. 1 probe has been snapped. Second one also taking some damage. So only 1 pylon is being left alive, as 1 drone also almost getting taken out. So DEWALT sadly for him with a pretty much failed attempt here to do a cannon rush. A very nice glitch here forward. You guys can of course glitch those units with 2 drones, or even cancelling the extractor. Very nice move here by the Zerg. Maybe after the game will finish I will be looking once again into the minute mark, just to see how exactly the Zerg did this trick. So very smart move by him. Only the pylon is now being left here for DEWALT, as he's just checking now the main. Overlords have also made their way here forward. Cannon is about to get finished. Gateway has started for DEWALT. And yeah, he's of course going to try to stay as much as he can here into this location, just to see what exactly the Zerg is up to. When is he going for a tier 2, or is he going for a tier 2? Is it going to be Mutalisk? Is it going to be a rush with Zerglings, with Hydralisk? That's the main concern now here for DEWALT. What exactly the tactics here from the opponent is going to be. And the pylon has been sniped, as DEWALT is now a little bit supply blocked here. 1 drone also here sadly on idle for the South Korean player. So yeah, there it is, finally reacting. At the same time he also takes his 1 o'clock position here onto the map. So yeah, like I told you, both players very macro oriented game. Now we even have the tier 2 upgrade for the Zerg, so it could be Mutalisk, it could be Lurkers, it could be even a drop with some Overlords, given the fact that the Protoss is nicely walling off here in the front. Could be a drop happening here, a very good spot to drop some Hydralisk, some Lurkers into this location. Of course he needs speed, he needs the transport ability, and yeah, let's have a look. DEWALT nicely nicely scouting here the area, knowing now the exact build order from the opponent. So yeah, it should be a very interesting game. Let's see if DEWALT is going to be going for a starport. There it is, starport with Corsairs versus the very likely incoming Mutalisk here from the opponent. And the Zerg tries of course to chase that probe away. Of course the Zerg needs a lot of gas for those Mutalisk. Is it going to be Mutalisk though, or are we going to be seeing Hydralisk with even Lurkers for him? Let's just see what exactly the plans here for the Zerg are, I don't see him go for a Spire yet. We do of course have the production tab here in the upper part. He's actually going for the faster movement speed of the Overlord, so he's expecting perhaps Corsairs coming in very soon. Very smart move here by the Zerg, going speed for Overlords, speed for Hydralisk, in order to protect those Overlords against the incoming threat, against those incoming Corsairs. Corsairs also good in the air for the Protoss to scout the area just to see exactly what the Zerg, what the enemy is up, and still no Spire here for the Zerg. So it looks like he's going into mass Hydralisk with speed, and it might be Lurkers as well here for the Zerg, and it might even be him dropping some units here with the Overlord speed. Let's see, one weapons upgrade also starting here, actually halfway getting done for DEWALT, playing very defensively, actually expecting an attack here as his Corsair is moving out, and yeah, in comes the timing push by the Zerg. Speed will finish for the Hydralisk, speed will finish for the Overlords. He has of course to protect those Overlords, trying to hide them of course onto the map, so it is indeed a timing push. The cannons however will finish exactly on time here for DEWALT. He even has 4 Zealots. Speed now for the Zealots is getting started, and with those cannons here I believe he should be fine. The one gateway or one forge might get sniped, but it looks like he's going to be okay, even though the Zerg is pretty much sending more and more units. He has of course to leave some Hydralisks behind to defend, and that's good news here for DEWALT, as more cannons will finish here in the back. So it looks like DEWALT is safe. He's going to try of course to buy as much time as he can with those Corsair. He's going to try to snipe those Overlords in order to force some leftovers here for the Hydralisk. Perhaps scouts would also be an interesting idea here for the Protoss, but I believe they're not that fast. They do however have those machine guns and can attack the ground, so scouts would also be an interesting idea here for the Protoss. But then again, I'm not a pro, so I believe DEWALT knows exactly what he is doing here, scouting the area, forcing the Zerg to leave some Hydralisk behind. Of course the Zerg is not going to commit here forward. Let's check the main from the Protoss. Maybe some Reavers would be a great answer, but it looks like High Templars with Storms will be the answer here for DEWALT versus the masses, the sheer masses from the Zerg, as he's now even deciding to move out with weapons 1 being done. Armor is also started here. One Corsair is getting snapped, and good targeting here by the Zerg, snapping one Zealot after the other, and with that the Zerg actually looking really well here, even nicely cancelling this kill with a Lurker Egg. But yeah, DEWALT moving out, showing his presence here. I believe he's going to even try to snap this one Overlord. A very good micro here by both players. In the end, a fair trade. He's going to try to very likely snap his Overlord, as speed has been done with the Zealots. One weapons upgrade. Let's just check the Hydralisk very quickly. 0-0 upgrades, so the Zerg is pretty much relying on the sheer masses of Hydralisk here versus the opponent, and now transitioning into those Lurkers, not having yet the transport ability for those Overlords here for him, as it would be very good to bypass all of those cannons like I told you around here. But yeah, there we have the main other production buildings here for DEWALT, as he's going very likely, actually he is going into mass gateways. Zealots with Dragoons is going to be the tactic for him, with High Templars, perhaps some Reavers as well, as a great dodge once again here by the Zerg with that Cocoon. Very nice skill by him, and now even having the high ground, blocking the entrance here. The Zealots do take some damage, so very smart move indeed here by the Zerg. There we have range for the Dragoons. Lots and lots of Lurkers here expecting the attack. DEWALT tries of course to go for the main entrance, for the main mineral line. Tries to of course to snipe as many drones as he can. It is indeed a suicide mission here for him, but in the end causing some chaos, delaying a little bit of mining time. The Zerg at 33 workers, and very soon the Zealots will be cleared out. So a good move out here by DEWALT, showing his presence. At the same time we do see 2 Overlords here, and it is a drop, and this is what I told you, how strong drops can be into the middle of the game. We are at around the 10-minute mark. A nice move here by the Zerg indeed, and I don't see any I don't see any observers here for DEWALT, so what a mistake by him. What a great mistake by him. Nice cheesy move. I wouldn't even call it cheesy move, but I believe that DEWALT should of course expect this. He did save some probes here, but he has to attack those lurkers right now with Psionic Storm. There's the observer. So finally in comes the observer. So luckily for him, he has indeed an observer. He will be able to clear this out, but so much mining time has been lost. Some workers have been lost. Look at that, he has dropped to 32 workers. So the Zerg pretty much crippling now the economy from the opponent. No mining here. He has to wait for the observer. Tries of course to snipe as much as he can. The lurkers will fall, but they have done their job. They've done a great job here, buying so much time here for the economy from the Zerg. And luckily here for DEWALT, he did have a observer. There's the observatory. But yeah, what a great multitask here by the Zerg, dropping some lurkers here, dropping one here and two at the production buildings. Very smart move by him. DEWALT, sadly for him, dropping to 32 workers. He has to rebuild. He's still into the game, but this was a very strong move by the Zerg, by the South Korean, pretty much crippling here everything DEWALT has. Let's just see how the game is going to continue with that. I believe, yes indeed, he's going to try to expand all over the map. He knows he has the advantage now, economic and macro wise. He's now just establishing control of the main entrance. Very smart move. So DEWALT needs the observer to get here out. And yeah, let's check once again those upgrades. One armor to one attack. So very good upgrades here. Still 0-0 for the Zerg. So we do have spines here for the lurkers and for the Hydralisk as the slow attack is happening. So the Zerg is pretty much establishing control in the front. I believe he's going to once again try a drop. So of course it's going to be very hard to move here forward. DEWALT knows this. He leaves some dragoons into this area. He's expecting of course more drops, as we even have some chatting going on here. Perhaps the Zerg is trying to intimidate here the Protoss, maybe telling him, look, I have the control of the map, there is no way you can win. I've dealt so much damage towards your economy. Maybe it's time to leave the game, but as you see from the timer, it's a very long game. There's still observer in the air, there are still High Templars. The lurkers nicely spreaded here for the Zerg. I believe that's exactly what the Zerg telling him, look, it's time to leave the game. A good storm here. He's going to be able to snipe so many lurkers. Upgrades are good. And I don't know if DEWALT actually knows some South Korean. So let's see what's going to happen. More storms are going out as one lurker after the other is dropping. Now in comes the reinforcements here for the Zerg, but of course they will stand no chance against storms. So many Zerglings here in the back. 0-0 upgrades for them, as this spot would be great here to do a drop. And yeah, a small stalemate. The Zerg still in control, still expanding onto the map. DEWALT reacting with some storms, zealots, Zerglings are pretty much getting sacrificed here by the Zerg. Maybe he's going to transition into other units very soon, as 3 hatcheries are about to get finished here for the Zerg. So macro game looking very good for him. More lurkers are being brought here forward, more reaction here for DEWALT. Nice storms by him. Those players just pretty much try to snipe one unit after the other. So a very difficult situation here for DEWALT, as we even have a dancing Hydralisk here in the middle of the map, being surrounded by its own unit, and there finally he goes for a lurker. So yeah, the Zerg could even take this expansion right here. Even this one could be taken. DEWALT still being trapped here into his main. Might even lose an observer here. Even on high Templar, needs to be very careful here with his important units, as the Zerg slowly but steadily picks up unit after unit. So of course his economy is going to allow him to do this. So DEWALT somehow needs to bypass this, but very hard situation. Maybe a shuttle with a Reaver gameplay could bring him here back into this game. This expansion pretty much undefended here, so a shuttle with a Reaver could pretty much destroy this. Maybe some carriers would also be an interesting idea, but I don't know if the economy here for DEWALT is going to allow him to go for carriers or scouts. as more and more is getting thrown out here by the Zerg towards the enemy. So the Zerg with some sacrifices here. He also needs to be careful. Those side temple storms are very, very deadly. Nicely casted here by DEWALT. He's nicely kiting back and forth, inflicting more and more damage towards the Zerg. The Zerg knows, of course, that it's still a 2-base Protoss versus his 4 bases. As you can see, the reinforcements pouring here forward onto the map. Nice bloodbath here in the middle of the map, but yeah, the Zerg, of course, knowing that he can afford to lose those units here. It's at 51 workers. He has so many hatcheries here out, 6 already here, and even has the hive, so we might see adrenaline for the Zerglings very soon. We might see other upgrades, important upgrades here as well. As in comes an attack, finally 1 carry base has been done. Good upgrades here for DEWALT, 2 armor versus 1. I believe even 2 weapons have been finished here. No, just 1. So yeah, DEWALT tries his best here to move out somehow of his base. Like I told you, a shuttle with the 2 reavers would be, even with 2 high templars, would be very good for him. As there are no defenses, I will show you very soon as quickly as this attack is going to be finishing here for the Zerg. So slowly but steadily DEWALT is moving here out, but at what cost? He's losing so many units. So this expansion right here pretty much undefended. A shuttle with some high templars there would be very, very deadly. Even a shuttle with 4 zealots would deal so much damage, but of course it's 3 hatcheries, so the reinforcements could pour here forward immediately. At the same time, DEWALT takes now his other expansion, so he's still into this game. Maybe with some great high templar storms he can, of course, even win this game, who knows. So the Zerg pretty much throwing a lot of units here forward, sacrificing many Zerglings. And yeah, if DEWALT somehow can bypass the attacks here with a shuttle perhaps. Yeah, look at that, immediately the reinforcements are pulling here forward. So maybe if DEWALT is patiently and dropping some units here, he might be into the game. So Zerg Defiler Mount, even more bad news here for DEWALT, as the Zerg with Dark Swarm is going to be very good versus all of those Dragoons on the ground. And there's so much more is pulling here forward for him. But still more units here for DEWALT onto the map. So nicely patiently waiting here, the Zerg sacrificing more and more units, trying to lure, of course, the Protoss into a trap. Even having units here, but we do also have some Dark Templars defending. So yeah, it's still anyone's game. Even though DEWALT has been crippled, his economy has pretty much been crippled. Now he is slowly but steadily coming back into this game. The Zerg still not deciding to take other expansions here. Interesting enough, believing that 4 bases would be enough here. But I believe right now he's going to be forced to take another expansion, given the fact that the Protoss second expansion, so he's on 3 bases, has now started to pump so much more out. But here there's a reaction with some overlords and with some Zerglings actually here for him. Yeah, the Zerg is very good against those buildings. However, is that enough for him? Actually now DEWALT only mining from 1 base. Yes, those Zerglings with adrenaline very, very strong versus the buildings here. So the reaction here by DEWALT, of course, is going into another expansion. This base pretty much mined out. DEWALT only mining from this base right here. Very soon it's going to be taking another base as more and more Zerglings are pouring here forward for the Zerg. Really wanting to stop the expansion here for the Protoss. But once again, he's sacrificing a lot of units. He's being a little bit cautious here. Even High Templar Storm getting some great connections here. In the end, he will of course be able to snipe this. So he's affording to lose all of those Zerglings, not deciding to micro them out of danger, just pretty much leaving them there. And yeah, if the Protoss somehow can defend this expansion right here, he will be still into this game, as even some probes are now getting transferred here. So yeah, there is the base for the Protoss. More cannons are of course being needed. DEWALT pretty much taking all of his units here to defend this base, so important base for him. This base still not being taken. A nice Dark Templar here for DEWALT moving forward. So the Zerg still onto the 4 bases with lots and lots of units. And finally he does have the Defilers here online. So a huge wave of units are moving now forward. Very impatient indeed game here by the Zerg. Finally we do have Dark Swarm, and with that DEWALT might be in serious trouble, as it's a highway of defilers with Dark Swarm. High Templars try to react with some storms. More and more Dark Swarm is getting casted. A very strong spell to have into the late game here for the Zerg, as the army is moving here forward. More and more damage is being taken here by DEWALT, and notice how this defiler is now pretty much invincible into the Dark Swarm. A very good spell to have indeed, as more and more defilers are moving forward here for him. So all of a sudden this Dark Swarm highway, very strong ability to have indeed here for the Zerg. We're past the 20-minute mark. A huge wave once again is moving out here for the Zerg. Defilers can of course kill their own units in order to get more energy here, as the Zergs are now being brought forward towards the expansion point here from DEWALT. So he attacks on two different fronts. A very nice move here by the Zerg, being protected by the Dark Swarm, as he's now pretty much kept at bay somehow by DEWALT with the Archons. But yeah, more and more reinforcements are pulling here forward, as DEWALT slowly but steadily has dropped now below 100 of a supply. So yeah, Dark Swarm once again showing us how strong it is into the late game, how very good of a support spell it is for those units onto the ground, as now the Zerg will of course target the newly established base here from DEWALT. And yeah, with that he even goes for massive ones of lurkers, as the reinforcements are just kept on pulling forward here for him. Very soon this base will be sniped, as the Hydralisks are moving here forward for him. So a very hard game indeed this one. Dragoon somehow still being left alive. It's going straight for the base in order to stop the mining from the opponent. There are the lurkers. The probes are being sniped. Very difficult situation here for DEWALT. I don't know right now if he's able to come back into this game. Things look really bad for him. Let's see if somehow with a miracle he can come back into this game. The Archon does his great job here to defend the ramp, but yeah, the lurkers are slowly moving forward. And now once again we do have Dark Swarm. Perfect spell here for the Zerg, nicely protecting all of those lurkers. Now the cannons and the probes will be targeted by the Zerg, so even more of a difficult situation here by the Protoss. I don't know exactly what they're talking here, what the South Korean player is saying. Perhaps it's just saying it's pretty much game over. It's very hard for you to come back into this game. You have lost all of your bases. Maybe it's time to leave, or perhaps he's insulting him, telling him something about his mother. Who knows what exactly the South Korean, and who is the South Korean player, but I believe he's just encouraging him to GG out. DEWALT played really well, but he's still holding on. He still knows that with some good storm somehow he can stay into this game. He's actually also expanding into this location, but you can see a huge wave once again of Zerg units, however this time not being backed up by the fire. So with a good position, with good storms, indeed DEWALT can take this out. But yeah, there's units coming in from all sides. However, so many High Templars here for DEWALT, so he's just showing us how strong those High Templars can be to counter the units. And all of a sudden the Zerg is also losing some units. So DEWALT still into this game, but sadly for him he has lost the expansion right here. Great storms by him indeed, so keeping him into this game right now. He needs, however, a base. He needs something to mine from. He is currently, as you can see, not gaining any minerals, just gas for him. So this is pretty much all of his army composition. Just a couple of High Templars with an Archon and with 2 Dragoons. Actually 2 Archons here for him, as somehow this base has been snapped. I believe the Dark Templar snapped here this base. So what exactly can he do? Still no mining here for him. I believe he's going to try to buy as much time as he can for his High Templars to gain more energy. Remember, 1 High Templar can cast 2 storms. And yeah, with that the Zerg of course having the control here from the main exit point from the opponent. Having vision here, as even this probe is in panic. And yeah, more and more damage is being taken here by DEWALT, as he's slowly but steadily moving here forward. He needs to be careful not to lose the important units. Good storms here by him versus the eggs. Great stuff here by him indeed. Snapping more and more units, and if this game continues like this, somehow he could be winning this game. There's not that much mining going on here. Finally in come the mining drones. The Zerg might have to build some new probes. He's also at only 31 workers for him. But he knows, of course, that DEWALT is not mining at all. Has the observer here, even has the lurker here in order to deal damage towards the probes. What exactly can DEWALT do? Perhaps he's going to take those probes and attack with them forward. So in comes the attack here by DEWALT, as this base still not being protected, and this just shows us how important it would have been early on into the game perhaps to do a drop with a shuttle. And yeah, there it is. He has the high ground, so the Zerg needs to be careful all of a sudden, not sacrificing all of those units, as he is losing this base right here. 2 Archons are still alive, some High Templars also still being left alive, as even the High Templar has been snapped, and with that right we might see him GG out very soon. Or is he 10 workers for DEWALT, 18 for the Zerg? And yeah, finally there is the GG, of course, in the end. DEWALT realizing that there's no way he could have won this. There's still so many drones into this location. And let's not forget about all of those lurkers here for the Zerg, pretty much having control here. The observer sees this. He even had some high risk here, so a patient game here for the Zerg. If you ask me, perhaps maybe we could have the opinion here from DEWALT as well. He was pretty much kept at bay here with the attack from the Zerg, and with a shuttle drop, in my opinion, with some reverse, even with the 2 High Templars here, would have pretty much caused so much damage, as the Zerg very clumsy here behind, pretty much opting to go all in, not having any defenses, just pretty much opting to have sheer masses of units here in the front, not allowing the Protoss to move out. And some shuttle, 1 shuttle or 2 shuttles would have been quite deadly here versus the economy from the opponent. Let's just check the stats very quickly in case you guys are interested. A very good game. I'm sure that DEWALT is going to be watching the replay and he might think the same, that some shuttles, even some scouts, why is nobody using scouts? I guess because they're bad, could be good versus the drones, versus the overlords, of course, in the air. But yeah, very good game, a very aggressive and positional game here by the Korean player, making sure to take this win. I don't know who he is, perhaps you guys know, maybe you can let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Tommy signing out.